Hi everyone, this is Suruchi Hirawat from Mumbai, and today's guest is Swamy Pillai. He's a dear friend, and I just want to share something about him before we'll actually ask him questions. Swamy Pillai's life is into metaphysical world began with an introduction to Louis Hay's work by his father at a young age of 7, and then at the age of 17 he was introduced to Joe Silva's work of connecting with high intelligence, and since then, there's no looking back. He has been practicing Silva for the last 21 years and has been a certified EFT matrix reprinting coach since last 1 decade and is known for his relationship coaching. Perfect, because our theme is relationship. So it's amazing. And he's also a certified Silva trainer, conducts Silva classes online across the world, and is a certified facilitator with Access Consciousness since last 2 years. This is a brief introduction of who he is. So thank you, Swamy, for coming and sharing your insight and talking with me about relationship. I'm a very die-hard romantic fan, if I have to say. Since I don't have that, you started at the age of 7, doing Louis Hay work. I think I grew up watching all Bollywood movies. So my relationship take on everything is all Bollywood. It's maybe you started at the age of 7 reading. I think I was flirting. So maybe I don't know. I was not doing metaphysical. I was just doing other eye-gazing stuff. So I think, yeah, my first crush, if I have to think about, was, I think it was 10 years old or something. So yeah, I started flirting at a very young age. Swamy, just starting is since you're a relationship coach and we are talking, the talk is all about relationship. What is your take on relationship? What is relationship for you?
Interesting question. And I think what I get is, what is not relationship? Like, everything is actually a relationship. Life itself is a relationship uh, with ourselves, with others. So I guess relationship is pretty much that sums up whatever life is. And this reality has made relationship a lot significant. I was fortunate enough that I got introduced to some wonderful relationship tips from my father. In fact, he never taught me, but he was being an energy of how one can raise up children without criticizing them, without judging them, and being in a space of allowance. So I guess I realized, I think late, somewhere around after 18, when he actually passed away. When I was 17, he met with an accident and he passed away. And he has been I can say, the whole and soul of my life. And they were picking, I realized, oh my God, he had taught me some so amazing stuff without actually telling me anything. But, he was being that. So I see that there's a huge scope where one can have ease with relationship with oneself, relationship with others, relationship with money, for that matter. I guess in this case, you are speaking more about
let's keep it.
interpersonal
Yeah, let's
relationships.
keep it, because when you said, it's yes, your father has been an inspiration. My father has been an inspiration of while I was growing up, and he was the flirtish sort. So it's I learned relationship with him also indirectly, but in a different way. So yeah, because he's been very jovial and he was very good with the opposite sexes. So how you watch, you learn, and you grow. So yes. So what is your fear? If I have to talk about, what is your fear when it comes to relationship?
Well, at this point, I think I'm pretty much confident that I can handle anything. So no, at this point, there's nothing much about fear in
You can.
relationship. However, you have to speak about way back when I was a teenager. Then, of course, there were a lot of stuff. I think I would get hurt at a drop of the hat. If I have a couple of my 1 or 2 or 3 close friends with whom I would like to perhaps speak, and if they put me on a hold to speak on with someone else, there you go, got hurt. And so,
Uh,
yeah, I mean, it was very fragile, I would say. It was very superficial as well, the understanding of relationship and the expectation we as teenagers have with each other. And I guess that also pretty much like, you know, gets us to know really what actually a relationship is and how one can handle the silly stuff that shows up. I think what was silly, what seems silly right now was so significant at that point of time. It was almost, I think, a matter of life and death for some of us. However, yeah, I think one grows in understanding of what works, what doesn't work. And some people take couple of years, some people take decades, some people take a lifetime. And I think we are all work in progress in terms of understanding the opposite gender. I think it is a never-ending
or
journey.
maybe the same gender nowadays. You never know. So yes. So
Exactly.
okay. You said you've been fragile and things like that. So what would how did you deal like back then and now if you come across heartache, heart pain, because relationship, how we said, is an ongoing process, we keep getting hurt from time to time. So how you used to deal with that emotion earlier and how do you deal now?
Hmm. Interesting question. And I guess I had couple of phases of my life, and I think there was this one time when I actually got real hurt. I mean, it was with one of my very close sister. I mean, my more boli ben. So, and I was so hurt that I cried for 2 hours in the night. We reached Pune at around 2 o'clock, and she had a boyfriend, and I was telling her about this entire thing that went, how she ignored me during the entire journey. And I think cried for a lot of time, almost for 2 hours in the night. I think that was one of the most. I think I reached a tipping point where I decided that I can't, like, this has to stop. I should be able to handle this, And I think that was the time when I was introduced to a very unique way of handling emotion. I don't use that as much now. However, if you really have to go in depth, he's actually one of my mentor. I used to look up to him. So, do you want what it told me that it is going to be one of the most weirdest thing, like, and it just shifted my entire reality about how to handle hurts in relationship. Do you want me to share that?
Yeah,
Or
why not?
okay,
It's, it,
fine. So
it's
he said,
interesting. Why? Because see, the thing is, when you said you cried for 2 hours, it's like how much we hide our vulnerability. And teenagers, especially at the time when we're going through teens, how much heartache. Even now, it's like I hate when I have tears. It's like I'm like fighting. I'm trying to control not to show my vulnerability. So yes, time to time you have to
yeah,
allow yourself to let loose. But how do you deal? Like, yeah, it would be nice. Like,
yeah, yeah. I think it may be one of the strangest way of handling this. If I can recollect now, I think it was 2007. So it's long time back. Okay. I just used that for that 1 year. After that, I never used that technique, but it shifted so much. So he said, uh, you should not be questioning why, whatever happened, why it happened. No questions. You should not ask any question. You should not try to find a reason. You should not try to find a solution of how to get out of it. You should not try to rationalize why it happened, because in our head, we keep going, oh, how can this person say this to me? Or we go into this pattern of thinking as to, oh, I did this and I did this and then this happened. I shouldn't have done this. They said no rationalization, no trying to find solution, no trying to ask question, no trying to figure out anything. He said you need to get a sense of how it feels. So for me, I said it felt like a heavy stone in my heart. He said you need to stay with that sensation. I said, okay, what do I do? Do nothing. Just stay with that.
we lost your voice, Swami. Did you go meditating with that emotion that we lost your word? We lost your voice, Swami.
Okay, am I
Yeah.
back now?
Yes. I thought you were
Okay.
meditating by
So
then because you went into that emotion. You're like, no question, nothing. I thought you just zoomed out, said, okay, just be there. So,
hmm, Well, what do you know? So I sat. It was very difficult because again I would go into some mode of thinking. How can this person? So I had to bring back every time from my thoughts back to the sensation in my body. And after a point, the sensation would move around, and I stayed with that sensation. I think for almost some 4 to 5 to 6 hours, and I think that's it. I totally lost that sense of heaviness, and the hurt just went away. I did nothing. Like I practically didn't do any work apart
Did
from
you
staying with the
experience? Did you
sensation.
experience that again after you went through the rigid process? Because find like for me, it will be like very difficult because it says no question, no analyzing, nothing. Just be with that emotion. If I
No,
just be with that
be with
emotion,
the sensation.
sensation of that
Yeah,
emotion
be
in
with the
the heart,
sensation. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
be
yeah.
with the
And
sensation
and
of
and
the.
keep and yeah. Yeah, yeah. And the sensation would keep moving around, and it can again, mind can get sucked up back into some other story, and you just have to bring back your attention to the sensation in the body. I don't even recollect for how long I did this, but it was for quite for a number of hours, and I had to do it repeatedly for a couple of days. And it was very difficult not to go into, thinking. He said, if you can do this, believe me, the kind of freedom that you're going to experience is something that you unlike anything else. And at that point of time, I think I was just doing whatever I could at that, and nothing was helping me. And yeah, I think that the freedom that I got, I was like, oh my God, like that's such a sense of freedom without really doing any kind of cognitive work, any therapy work. However, just staying with the sensation of the body, I think that was fabulous.
I can just say hats
So
off. Not my cup of tea. When as a teenager, and then you're just saying going back and no, so I'll be like breaking. But then, yeah, it's actually sometimes just getting present with the sensation and not trying to find reasons, justification, or blame game, or any of those emotions going through, and just being present with what you're feeling. I think, yeah, it does disappear. So going a little fast forward, that you did as a teenage, right? So now, since you have so many things in your sleeves, and if you go through the same situation, what would you use? Would you use the same method or would you use something different?
yeah, of course, I'll be using a lot of other stuff because I think um, there are some other tools that I have fun playing with, and it has been working fabulous. I think one of the things is I mean, in Access Consciousness, we learn something about a clearing statement, good, bad, right, wrong, POC, all nine shorts, boys, covax, and beyonds. So what I would do is I would actually destroy and until all my projection and expectation that I have with this person. Because ultimately, it is about in relationship, whatever happens is somewhere you are expecting something, and somewhere you are projecting something that this person should behave, and that doesn't get met. And that is when you go into the wrongness of either that person or, I would go with myself. So expectation, destroying and emptied all the projection and expectation, and also the judgments that I have of this person. And the one other thing that has immensely helped me, one particular question is, if I don't have to make myself wrong, if I don't have to make this other person wrong, if I don't have to make the situation wrong, what else do I have available, and what else can I choose now? This one has been like I have been using it a lot. I think it has
Very powerful.
somewhere I learned it in the first foundation class. I remember, I think so. And I was like, oh my God, can we really have such a reality where you don't have to go into your wrongness? You don't have to go into other person's wrongness. And I think the facilitator said that it is not about you can, it's a choice. If you don't have to make the other person wrong, if you don't have to make yourself wrong, and if you don't have to make the situation wrong, what else is available? And I think that opened up some different space, a space that I don't even know that it could exist. However, I was able to tap into that, and the sense of freedom and the sense of ease and peace, and was something I think beyond this reality, because this reality loves drama and trauma. We we would love to create a mountain of of an anthill. So I think yeah, it's just a different choice, a different way of handling stuff, I guess. And Yeah, that would be one of the major tools that I would use. And I think one of my other core principle, the other core underlying thing that I use is people are good at heart. Okay. If they are, I mean, of course, this also contradicts some of my recent understanding and sense of how relationship work. However, I still go back, I see myself going back to this, and it always helps me. People are good at the core of their heart. At the core of the heart, a child would not want to, make things messier for anyone. Even as an adult, as we go, we don't want to make life tough for others. It's somewhere at some point of time, they are not feeling supported enough, safe enough. Okay. And they are buying into some kind of lies about people and about lack that allows them to choose something that is not, that doesn't even work for them and doesn't work for even with whom they are dealing with. So this understanding kind of helps me to have ease with any kind of behavior that anyone would exhibit, especially with me. It doesn't mean that I would not be harsh energy on them if required. However, for me to deal with myself, with the situation, for me, this is the understanding that I use. Whatever is required at the outer world, if we have to do something, have to say something, or if we have to, yeah, I mean, whatever requires to be done, I would do it at the external world. However, I think the thing is about internal world. It's not about the outside. With the relationship, there's no other person. It is about the way I look at it. It's all to do with yourself, how you see yourself. Because when people treat badly, if you think that people are treating us badly, it's never about us. It is about them. And so yeah, it's different, and I think it takes time. Everyone has their own learning curve to get to this point that if if we can have, like, no one can hurt us without our permission, right? That's a famous saying, not just as a saying. However, to deal with this stuff internally, it helps, at least for me, it helps me. So yeah.
So true. So Swami, just like you started a very young age, like where, because your father introduced you about a lot of metaphysical work and having a different perspectives to say about life. So, so how did, were you naughty as a child, or you like as a growing up, how did you use your knowing? Because I know Louis Hay work is like affirmations. Okay, it's like, how did you use to attract girls in your life? Did you use little bit of that magic to get your partner?
Yes, yes. So I, of course, I mean, my wife, Mansi Pillai, used one of the law of attraction called subjective communication, that I used, and I found her after 7 days. And yeah, I think if people would know what I know or what I knew, so much of insecurity and so much of uncertainty that they go through in terms of whether they would find the right person or not. One of the book, I mean, since you asked this question, I think one book that reinforced my belief in love was this famous book by Dr. Brian Weiss, Only Love is Real. You would not believe. I mean, that book shifted so much, and that book instilled such a great faith on love for me. I distributed almost around 81 to 85 books. I gifted it to my different friends.
Wow, I'm still waiting for the book. I can still read it. At this age, I can find true love.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's very I think powerful. So I what I used was something called Silva. Where you Silva says that we all are connected. I mean, not just Silva, but I think most of the metaphysical verses, we are all connected at some level. Like, if you truly can recognize that we are connected at some level, and if you truly desire that there would be someone who would want to receive you and accept you, and be kind to you, definitely there are a lot of people who exist. The only problem is that person doesn't know that you stay at this place. You don't know where
Ah,
that
so you
person
did
stays, right?
magic. You did magic to get Mansi into your life. She didn't realize, and you did magic. You planted into her
No, no,
seed, right? Did you plant it like, hey, I'm the person, I am your soul, mate, come find me, come find me.
well, it happened the first time when I wanted, and I did have a girlfriend then, and I used Silva for that. But however, when it came to Mansi, it was a very different story. I think it was, I was 30 and I said, universe, you know what? I don't have the time and energy to find a girl and get into relationship again and build that relationship and see through that it reaches the marriage. I said, universe, I'm coming to attend this a 3 day program. So it was, I just had a heartbreak and I used one tool called EFT. Just because you asked, EFT has been my savior to deal with the heaviness and the overwhelm that comes with heartbreak. And I was very angry with God because everything was working out so smoothly, and in the end, it just didn't turn out well. And I was like, oh my God. So I said, I'm not going to write anything. I wrote 6 pages of details of how I would like to have my girlfriend to be. And just said, this time, I'm not going to write anything because all that I wrote, none of them showed up. None of them worked out. Some of them would have worked out, but this time I don't want to write anything. I'm coming to this program, a 3 day program here, and I want to find my soulmate with whom I should get married. And you have to tell me the indications that she's going to be the one, and you need to do right from the beginning till the end and see through it that the marriage happens.
Wow.
And yeah, so it was totally different. I did go to this program, I did meet her, and by the end of 3 days, so many coincidences happened. And I think by the end of the third day, I got this clarity that she's going to be the one. And I said, this time I'm not going to take any initiative. And I think it was a period of 6 to 7 or 8 months where there was this inner voice within me that, because this process was where you activate this inner voice, and this inner voice was guiding me exactly what to do and what not to do. I said, you have to do everything and you need to get this thing sorted. And the inner voice would say, okay, fine, you don't have to do anything, just do what I say. So it was a very different journey for me. I mean, it would take another 2 hours. I think I have shared this couple of my friend, and I am sure I would be coming up with my book in the future describing this entire thing because it's magical. It was magical. So
So
yeah, I mean,
beautiful. I think we will be waiting for your book. It will be so magical because there's so many people who are actually looking for their soulmate or things. And if any book or any insight, I think it would be so great. Yes. Okay, now since you have a love marriage, now let me ask you something. But you have to be very honest, huh? You can't sly away. So now, because since you're a facilitator, you're a handsome looking man, and if the
mhm.
girl hits you now, okay, and because you can read energy, how do you deal? Like, uh, what leeway do you get to and not get to? How, yeah, how do you go about it?
Yeah. So at least I'm clear now in my head what I want from my life and what I don't want. So of course there are a lot of people, in fact, right from my college days, I think since I got a sense of that I am someone and I am something, I would be most of my friends would be girls. Okay, like they would call me Kanaya. So that,
I
that has
think
been
no, no, that must be the magic you've been
I'm
doing
from
in planting. Sorry.
well, not way back then. It was I was not consciously aware of that, but yeah, I do recognize that there are people who can love the energy that I am being, okay, and they are inspired and they would want to perhaps come close. And I think for me in my world, I let that be, that energy be, and somehow and somewhere they know that uh, mm, they can only reach to a certain space and they can't go beyond. I think I don't tell them, I don't need to tell them actually. I just be that energy. And I think they are happy with that. There's a different space of kindness that they get from me and nurturance also. And they don't have to have me and own me to receive from me, if I have to say.
Okay.
So I think I found that a way how I
Okay.
can do that. I can't even put it in words. However, just the
I think
way I guess.
I think in your head you're reliving all those situations again because your grin, your smile is like, okay, this happened and this. I don't know. Okay. So now, if you like somebody, okay, you see, I think it's very normal. You may be in a relationship, but when you walk around, there are beautiful people and you may like. So has it ever
Yes.
happened that you're admiring
So
someone beauty and your wife catches you looking at the right at the time, looking at someone? What is a good excuse you came up with?
No, the thing is, I don't have to explain. She's totally okay with that. And she says that she knows that, wherever you go, just come back home.
Lucky.
So the
I will
thing is
just say you're just lucky.
that, oh, I'm totally, I would say. And the thing is, because of that allowance and space that she has for me, and the trust that she has for me is what allows me to, I think, trust myself at the same time. And I know that, yeah, there is this phenomenal sense of trust in myself because of the space that she provides me. And yeah, I like her. She's so beautiful. So that is quite normal
No, that is
for
okay. But then
me
it's
to.
like, it's very interesting. I was asking something, you just derooted somewhere else. I was like, you've been ogling at somebody and she catches you. What is your jargon or what? Oh, I was just checking her
There's certain
energy vibes or what? What excuse do you come up with?
No, so there is no excuse required. See, excuse is required when you have to justify. Here, like I am being open there. Wow, what an amazing, beautiful looking person. Like, yeah, she is. In fact, a lot of times she would herself say, you know what, see, look at the girl, how beautiful she is. So yeah, I mean, those kind of situations I like you normally don't come across because there is no justification that is required. Normally, I think for others, they have made this as a wrongness. So they have to catch. So there is no catching here. It is like acknowledge that, wow, there can be, just because I'm married, I will not find more, I cannot, I would stop appreciating people who are beautiful. That doesn't exist in our world. So for us, it is like quite normal for us to have that energy and also share that. And there is no wrongness in it.
It's
So
so
when the other person
beautiful.
doesn't make you wrong, you don't have to defend it, right? So I
I,
guess
I
that's
I
what.
totally get you, and it's a beautiful because it's a relationship based on trust, where you trust the person and where you don't have to cut parts and pieces of you to be in a relationship. So that's really beautiful. So now, just
Totally.
so if you now one question, like you said you were so heartbroken, right? Before you met Mansi, you were in love with somebody. You wrote 6 pages about that person. Now, if you meet her and she hits on you.
Well, okay, I do meet, we do speak now. In
Uh-uh.
fact, most of my friends whom I used to have a crush with, they are great friends of me, and they, yeah, we hang out. And well, I can't even think of dating. I think I can still receive that and cool, yeah, fine. I mean, it's great that you still admire and still this, but however, uh, this I can just go far. This I can only go this far, and I guess yeah, I never had such a situation show up, so I don't think of what I would do. I think, however, the thing is, I just know that I will know a way of handling that.
I know.
I
I
think.
So it's
I'm so
amazing.
sorry. You couldn't find some good stories with
Yeah,
this.
I was
You're
trying
not
to
going
dig, dig,
anywhere
dig, but I
like
couldn't
that.
find. Or maybe you're such, you see, you're so good with your tools. You're a man with so many tools and tricks, right? So you know what to implant in my head and make me out. So maybe it's just that. So I'm getting whitewashed here with your energies, where I could not dig and find dirt, which I was so hoping to. But yeah. So okay, so only one last question. Thank you so much. If you have, since yeah, it's nice. I think maybe whenever your book is coming or anything that your take, like if people would try to reach out because you've gone through a hell lot of journey with broken heart to healing heart to find a beautiful partner, a soulmate, and not just a beautiful partner. It's a very contributive partner where which allows you to be you, right?
Totally.
So it's so beautiful, and anybody who's looking out to have that kind of a relationship or something, how can they reach out? So maybe your contact number or whatever you can just share so that if they can want to reach out to you, they can find you, who's the magical guru with so many tools where I can manifest my soul partner. But it's, yeah, I'm actually, to be very honest, I'm so amazed that you started your journey at such a young age, at the age of 7, where I was teaching how to flirt and you were teaching how to meditate. Or it's like I still can't get over the fact. But
Yeah, It's not that I was learning to meditate at the age of 7. It was just that I was introduced to the world of, I would say, self-affirmation. We
Yeah.
had to write 2 pages of,
No,
stuff.
it's not
So yeah,
fair. I wish I had those tricks in my sleeves. It would have been so easy. It would have like pulling the right person in your life. Being there. I think my
it's
go-to
never too
thing
late.
was all Shah Rukh Khan's movie.
Oh God, yeah, of course. Hmm.
So
Hmm. Yes, so I think the page they can find me is Coach Swamy Pillai. I don't know how far people will be able to remember the number, but Coach and Swamy as in Y and Pillai, Pillai. So Coach Swamy Pillai is on social media handle, YouTube, Insta, Facebook, and there they have all the other contacts and phone number and everything.
it's very
So
interesting when you're saying this. Sorry, the song that is coming. स्वामी जी मेरा हाथ देख कर बात कहो मेरे यार की. You should make that the song that playing in the अभी तक.
yeah, interesting to imagine that.
Yeah, it's like स्वामी जी बैठे हैं, स्वामी जी जरा हाथ देख के बात करो मेरे यार की. इतने साल हो गए कोई मिला नहीं है, स्वामी जी प्लीज बताइए ना. So jokes apart,
Yeah, I
yes.
mean, I think the one thing that comes to me, I think one tip in relationship, the thing that we had and Mansi had an agreement long back is more than anything else, the one thing that is must in a relationship and beyond which relationship really cannot sustain is respect. Like that has to be that is the honoring, the minimum honoring that uh, one should have with each other. People expect a lot of things from each other, but if they don't have respect and honoring of each other, then I think they can't really receive. So beyond anything else, I think this is one thing that this is one unspoken rule that one should be present that when they are breaking, because most of the upset in relationship is the rules. We have all of us have individual rules as to what is basic minimum requirement. I think respect is something, honoring of the other person is something that is that would keep relationship. Yeah, I mean, even if the love is not there, if the respect is there, still there can be so much of creationship, and people can still find their way back again, connecting with themselves and connecting with each other. If respect and honoring is maintained. So yeah, I just
No,
thought
no.
of sharing that.
Thank you so much, Swami, for hopping in and joining me
Thank
and having a beautiful. Actually, I didn't know. I will try. I said I will try staying in that emotion and not asking questions because I'm very curious and I don't know. It's like few things like I'm just stuck. It's like as a teenager because it's like you're so restless, you're too much of energy, and that sitting down with that feeling, that perception of that hurt or whatever you're going through, and without anything centering back there. So yes, I think I will definitely give that a shot because I know what other tools you spoke about. I do play, but this is something. It's a challenge for me because I have to sit and do that. And I'm waiting for my book. I didn't get you. You gifted 83 copy, right? I'm the 84th
Well, I
one.
mean, if you have asked for it, you will get one. I'll get the address and I'll send post it to you.
See, this is how it is.
Amazing book for an amazing book for anyone who have lost trust in love, who have lost faith in love and lost faith in finding that someone who can really contribute. I think this book, the preface is still free, it's online available. I think one of the best preface of any book I have ever read is about the preface of this book. Only
I
Love is Real,
good
by
hair.
Dr. Brian Weiss. It's a yeah.
I
So
am
thank you
going to
so much
definitely
for
read the
inviting.
preface. Thank you so much. And all of you guys who've been watching, thank you so much for watching now and in future. And every Wednesday, I think I'll be coming with new guests and we'll be talking about relationship. Our guest range in gender, different age groups. So if you have any question and any queries that you would like us to take on this, please do message me, write me, DM me, whatever you can use to reach out. And thank you so much once again. And thank you, Swami. And say hi to Mansi.
Thank you so
I
much,
could not dig Mansi
Yes,
anything. I'm so sad. Shit. Mission failed. Okay, yeah, guys. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sarati, for inviting, and thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye, bye, bye.